Hi Big Dragons, I just want to do my part 2 of my November reading wrap up. I didn't read as much, but I did like a lot of the stuff that I read, so I do want to kind of chat through it. If you are not a stats girl and you don't want to watch the first part of this, that is fine. I just think numbers and stats are interesting. So in the month of December, I read 14 books. I read 5,372 pages for an average page a day, 179. My average page count was 383. My most read genre was fantasy, which is pretty accurate. And I read 4 books with rep, 7 from authors I read before, and I have stopped tracking my haul books because I got tired. I had 5 5-star, 4 4-star, 3 3.5 star, 1 3-star for an average rating of 3.89. I did wind up reading a lot of Goodreads Choice Awards, and those were very, very successful for me. I read 12 new releases, 1 backlist, and 1 from last year. I read 6 physical, 7 audio, and 1 ebook. I started 4 series, I continued in 2, I caught up with 3, and I read 8 standalones, and I read 3 companions. I read 1 middle grade, 7 young adult, 1 new adult, and 5 adult. I read 0 arcs, 1 from Audible, 5 from the library, 1 from NetGalley, 6 owned, and 1 from Everand. I read 4 fantasy, 1 paranormal romance, 1 nonfiction, 1 thriller, 4 romance, 1 manga, 1 sci-fi, and 1 fantasy romance. Sci-fi I counted as the Hunger Games, but not quite sure if that's actually accurate, but that's okay. So the first book I read on the plane ride back home from YALLFest was The House Sapphire by Marissa Meyer. This is a Bluebeard retelling, and I liked it. I gave this book like 4 stars. I think that the first half was definitely like a stronger story. It is a ghostish story. It does have those vibes. I really did like it. It had a unique romance. It had a fun vibes. I also got to, my friend Kari met this author for me, so she got me my book signed. Which at this point, I have so many books signed by Marissa Meyer, and I don't think I ever actually met her. So, but I like this. I think that it's very, very honestly should have made the Goodreads Choice Awards. It was like a solid 4-star read, and I'm really happy that this competition convinced me to pick it up, and I really want to read the other ones before the end of the year. Gave this one 4 stars. It is a light romance, so I would say it is like more of a fantasy or more of like a ghost story and less of a romance, but I did like it, and if you like a haunted house story with a retelling element, I'd pick this book up. And then the next book I picked up was Beg, Borrow, Steal by Sarah Adams. I will attach a photo of that book here. Really, really like this one. I'm not sure if I talked about this in my last video. I don't think I did. But this one was my favorite of the Goodreads Choice Awards. Overall, like all the books I read, I really, really did like this one if I had to like choose out of all of them. This one is a small town romance about 2 characters that kind of are enemies. They wind up meeting back up. They're teachers at the same exact school. They're both dealing with different parts of their lives, and they wind up coming together, and it's a romance. But it's very, very cute. It's kind of the enemies to more that I like, because it's more like friends to enemies to more. A little bit of fun banter, small town vibes, and I really, really liked it. So I gave this book 5 stars, and I really want to go back and read the other books in this series. And then the next book, also for the Goodreads Choice Awards, a lot of these are Goodreads Choice Awards books, was The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore. I will attach a photo of that book here. Like as much. I think Lori Gilmore's books I need to physically read, and I don't often read physically a lot of romances, very, very rarely. The only book in this series that I really did like or really enjoy was The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and I physically read that. So I don't know if I should really be listening to these anymore and if I should be reading them. The stories aren't that memorable to me, and I don't know if that's because I'm listening to them and like it's harder for me to feel connected to the characters, but I just don't feel connected. I also didn't think this book was that wintry. It had like a snowstorm. The characters weren't that memorable. I did like that it was a second chance romance. I did like that we got past and present timelines, but honestly the story just didn't make that big of an impression on me. So yeah, that is where it's on this list, and I'm sorry because I really want to like this series. I just don't think it's a new favorite. I also think that these books have elevated spice, and I struggle with that a little bit, so take my opinion for what it's worth. I only gave that book 3 stars. The next book I read for the Goodreads Choice Awards was The Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan. I will touch a photo of that book here. A fantasy book about witches, but set during World War II, where Hitler and the American Party, or the British Ally Party, is trying to use witchcraft to end the war. And I really, really like this book. I gave this book 5 stars. It was so unique and so different, and I just had a fun time with it. It was a 3 point of view story. We had a lot of characters that were kind of forced to work together. It kind of reminded me of when I played Ink Blood Stone, which was like another one that I really did like, but it has similar vibes. So this was a very, very emotional read, very, very captivating. I love the writing, and I would love to read more by this author in the future. I voted for this for new debut and didn't win, but I really did like it, and I think more people should read it. And then the next book that I read was Nordley's Volume 1. I picked this book up at Comic-Con, and actually my librarian just got it. This is a translated series. It's from Norwegian, I think. Yeah, Nordic folklore. And it just was a fun story. It really gave me, like, I was in the... This was right before Stranger Things came out, and I remember I'm just looking for something to kind of give me those vibes. This book really, really worked. It was fun. It was atmospheric. It was foresty. And I just love this art style. So this is definitely a book I'm probably going to be keeping. And I just like the creatures in it. If you're looking for an adventurous middle grade, I would pick this one up. I had a fun time with it. And the next book I read was Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This was another Goodreads Choice Award book. And I'm going to give you my opinion, and I don't think you're going to like it, but here's the photo. I'm not sure the Hunger Games series is for me. I don't like books with unnecessary violence, and that's sort of what this has always felt like. And I think because we were reading Haymitch's story, it wasn't as captivating. I think that, like, I knew so many things that were going to happen. I really had a hard time getting invested in anyone. I think out of everyone, I like Haymitch, but I know it doesn't have a happy ending. I know that. So it was really hard for me to feel connected to anyone in this story because I knew that 90% of them died, and they did. And I don't like reading stories like that because I like to like my characters. I like to root for them, and it was really, really hard in this story. I will probably never go back and read Snow's book because there is no redeeming qualities for that man, but I might read Finnick if she ever gives me a Finnick story. I will probably go watch the story and be heartbroken because I love Maya Hawke, but it was only a 3-star read for me. I could see why it won. I know that's super popular, but it just wasn't a Laura book. And then the last 2 books I finished in this vlog were exciting. I read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I will attach a photo of that book here. Was a 5-star read for me. I really, really enjoyed this. This is probably my second favorite in the entire category. Basically, you have these 2 writers, and they're competing to write this old Hollywood legend stories, and they wind up having a love-hate dynamic, and it was very unique, a very, very different way to tell a story. This was like a true genre mess-up with litfic, true crime, reporting, but also a love-to-hate romance, and I loved it. I think the back half of the story was a lot more interesting and a lot more compelling. You could tell that Emily Henry was kind of mashed up a bunch of her favorite things into one story, and it really, really worked. So that is where we are. I like the story. I gave it 5 stars, and I definitely want to go back and read the other Emily Henry books that I have missed because I have liked all of them that I have read. And then the last book I physically read for this vlog was Darker by 4 by Juicy Tan, and I love this book. I gave this book 5 stars. This one I read in my Stranger Things reading vlog video, which you're gonna come next. But I love this book. I gave this book 5 stars. It was so unique and so different. I love the characters. I love the romance. And it took some unexpected twists and turns that I did not see coming, but I really needed a fast-paced read. And this is what I got. So I really, really enjoyed this story. And I'm really happy to see where this story goes. So yeah, I definitely want to read the sequel in 2026, but I had a fun time, and that is a wrap on this book. So yeah, that is my wrap up for November. I really am excited to show you all the books I'm going to read in December. Let me know in the comments what is a book you must read before the end of the year, and I will talk to you guys soon.